My name is Denisha McDonald and I am a real estate agent with the Mandrell Company. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the home buying process, catering to first-time home buyers. Had a lot of experience working with first-time home buyers, and many of them are very unfamiliar with the entire process. They get the gist of it, but the intricacies of the process is a little bit overwhelming when they're going through it. So it's a good idea just to give you an outline or an overview of what the entire process entails. So the first thing that I advise clients do is that they go out and they seek a mortgage lender so that they know how much they are pre-qualified to purchase. The worst thing you want is to go out and be so excited to look at houses and you're looking at homes that are priced at $500,000 when in fact you qualify for a home that's $400,000 or $300,000. So the first thing you want to do is figure out how much home can you afford. After you have your pre-qualification letter from your lender, you want to find a real estate agent who's very knowledgeable about the areas or the towns that you are interested in living. You want an agent who knows the school systems, who knows the good versus the bad areas of that town. You want someone who has insight into the neighborhood and can provide you with valuable information for making a decision on where your family will live for usually more than just a couple of years. You're making a huge financial investment, so it's something that you want to make sure you choose an agent that is very familiar with that area. After you've selected your agent, you want to sit and decide, well, what are your must-haves versus what are your wants in your first home. So due to HGTV and all of these different shows, a lot of things people think, I must have this in my home, it's a must. And when you realize how much that costs, it's like you have to start making compromises. So it's a good idea to sit down and decide, what are the things that I actually must have in a home, and then what are the things that I think would be nice to have, but it's not necessarily a necessity. And that varies from person to person. I'll use myself as an example. When we purchased our first home, it was a necessity for me to have off-street parking. I am terrible at parallel parking, so I knew I didn't want to have to park on the street ever. So finding a home that had off-street parking was very important to me. It's also very important that I had a place with a laundry room because I didn't want to have to find, a laundromat in the middle of a snowstorm or anything. So having parking and a laundry room were huge in our home decision. And everything else was pretty much negotiable to a certain extent. My dad's a general contractor, so a house that needs a little bit of work didn't intimidate me at all, and that varies from buyer to buyer. After you figure out what your must-haves versus your wants are, you want to start looking at houses. So you go out and you figure out, well, I want to take a look at this house versus that house, and you're critiquing every place that you see until you find one that's the best match for your family, taking everything into account, such as the neighborhood, the price range, your has versus your wants, taking all those things into account. If you see one that you fall in love with, then you would place an offer with your real estate agent on that property, and they will walk you through the process in terms of what's a good offer and what the process entails for submitting the offers. Once your offer is accepted, I think this is where people, on TV, it seems like it happens overnight, but it's a process. Once your offer is accepted, it generally takes about 40 to 45 days between your accepted offer and when you are actually a homeowner and going through the closing process. Within that time period, you will go through a home inspection to make sure, this is when you're going and looking at everything in depth in the house to make sure there aren't any glaring problems that you may have missed the first time that could cost you a lot in the end. So you want to try to find all of those things that would need to be repaired, and you would do that with an inspector. You will also go back to your bank and officially submit an application for the loan amount of how much you want to put for that house, and you will then be awaiting their approval, their final approval of that loan amount, and working with your attorney and your real estate agent to sign your purchase and sales and get the process going. In the meantime, when all of that's going on, once you have your loan and it's been approved by the bank or your lender, then you would schedule your closing date. And that time frame sometimes can be nerve-wracking because you're about to be a homeowner and all of your emotions start coming in. But then you have your closing date and you exchange paperwork and sign, and you are officially a homeowner and you can begin your dreams. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience and a very big decision. If you have any further questions, because this was a brief overview of everything and there are a lot more intricate details in the process, please feel free to contact me. My contact information is located in a link in the description section of this video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.